Daniel Hale was tired. His boots were heavy, his eyes half closed, and his mind buzzed with the same thought again and again. Bed. He had spent 16 hours repairing power conduits on the outer hull of Outpost Orion, a human frontier station floating far from the busy worlds of the core. The work was dull, the pay was poor, but Daniel liked the quiet of the frontier. Tonight, though, he didn't care about quiet. He only wanted to collapse, maybe sleep for 10 hours straight. He walked down the narrow hall of his living quarters block, tapped his ident card against the scanner, and pushed open the door to his small cabin. Then he froze. Someone was sitting on his bed. Not just someone, an alien woman. Her skin was pale with a faint silver glow, her hair long and dark like a night sky. She wore strange clothes, what looked like armor, torn and cracked, mixed with fabric that shimmered faintly under the cabin light. Her posture was not casual. She sat tall, proud, as if the simple bed beneath her was not a human mattress but a golden throne. Daniel's voice caught in his throat. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, then stared again. She was still there. Who are you? Daniel finally managed, his voice breaking with surprise. The woman's eyes shifted to him. They were sharp, bright violet, like twin stars burning behind a veil of ice. She didn't flinch or act startled, even though she had broken into his private quarters. Instead, she studied him calmly as if he were the unexpected guest, not her. "You may address me as Serenia," she said, her voice smooth but firm. "Daughter of House Villari. Princess by blood. Empress by right." Daniel blinked again. "Right, and why are you sitting on my bed?" "Because," she said simply, "I have claimed it. This room is now my throne room." Daniel stared at her, then laughed nervously. "Your throne room? Lady, this is crew quarters, not a palace. You got the wrong place," but Serenia did not move. She crossed one leg over the other, lifted her chin, and regarded him with regal dignity. "I chose this place because no one would think to search for me here. And because you," she pointed one slender finger at him, "are human." Daniel shifted uneasily. "Okay, yeah, I'm human. And that's supposed to mean—" "What exactly?" Her eyes narrowed slightly as if weighing her words. "It means you are not like them. The Council, the betrayers, the hunters. You are untamed, uncontrolled, and therefore you may be trusted." Daniel almost laughed again. Trusted? He didn't even know who she was, and she was squatting in his cabin like it belonged to her. But her tone wasn't joking. It was serious, heavy, as though every word carried centuries of history behind it. He sighed and ran a hand over his face. "Look, Serenia, Princess, Empress, or whatever you are, I don't know how you got past station security, but you can't just barge into my room. This is a military outpost. You'll get arrested." Her lips curved into the faintest of smiles. "I disabled the surveillance grid within this sector. Your leaders will see nothing. They are blind." Daniel froze. Disable the grid? That wasn't easy. The surveillance system was layered and redundant, nearly impossible to crack without inside help. She had done it like it was nothing. "Okay," he muttered. "Maybe you're not crazy, but that still doesn't explain why you're here." Serenia leaned forward slightly, her voice lowering. "I am hunted. My people are gone, my empire shattered. The ones who fear me seek to erase my bloodline forever. If they find me here, they will kill me, and perhaps anyone near me." Daniel's stomach tightened. Great. Just what he needed. A fugitive alien princess, camping in his quarters while space hitmen roamed the station. "I'm not signing up for this," he said quickly. "I fix conduits. I patch hulls. I don't play bodyguard for royal runaways." Her gaze softened just a little, though her posture stayed regal. "I chose you because you are human. Your kind does not bend easily. You fight when others yield. I have seen it." Daniel frowned. "Lady, you don't know me. I'm just an engineer. All humans are more than they appear," she said, with a certainty that made his skin prickle. Before he could answer, his comm unit beeped. He tapped it, and the voice of his friend, Officer Brooks, came through tense and clipped. "All hands be advised. Unknown vessels detected in outer orbit, probably mercenaries. Security teams on alert. Keep quarters sealed until further notice." Daniel felt his throat go dry. Mercenaries? Searching orbit? He glanced at Serenia, who was already watching him with those violet eyes. "They are here," she whispered. He rubbed his temples. "Of course they are." The next hour passed in a haze. Daniel tried asking her more questions. Where she came from, who destroyed her empire, why she thought hiding in a human's cabin would help. but she answered only in fragments. She spoke of betrayal, of a council of species that turned on her people, of fleets burned to ash. When she talked about it, her calm voice trembled just slightly, like steel under strain. She carried pain, deep pain, but hid it under her royal mask. At one point, Daniel tried calling Central Command to report her, but his comm screen flickered, glitched, and went dead. "I told you," she said softly. "The station systems will not betray me." I made sure that sent a shiver through him. Whoever she wasn't bluffing about her power. Finally, Daniel sat down on the edge of the desk across from her bed. "So let me get this straight. You're some alien princess on the run. You've decided my bed is your throne, and now your hunters are circling the station. Do I have that right?" Serena tilted her head slightly, regal calm never breaking. "Correct. And you think I'm just going to, let you stay here? Help you?" Her eyes gleamed faintly. "Yes," Daniel threw up his hands. "You're insane." But even as he said it, a part of him knew he couldn't simply throw her out. She was alone, desperate, and in danger. And if the mercenaries were as ruthless as Brooks had implied, then handing her over wasn't just cruel. It might not even save the station. If these people were willing to kill an empire, what was one human outpost to them? Serena shifted slightly, smoothing her torn cloak across her lap. "I will not beg. I am still Valari. I am still heir. But I ask you this, Daniel Hale of humanity. Will you stand aside as I fight alone? Or will you be the first to see the rise of a throne reborn?" Her words hung in the air, heavy and strange. Daniel looked at her, this proud, broken alien queen sitting on his bed, and wondered how in all the stars his quiet frontier life had just turned into something far more dangerous. And a small, reluctant voice inside him whispered that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't going to send her away. The next morning, Daniel woke to the low hum of the station. His head ached slightly from the tension of the night. The room was quiet except for the soft rustle of fabric. He opened his eyes and saw Serena sitting cross-legged on his bed, staring out the small window at the endless black of space. "Morning," Daniel said cautiously. Keeping his distance, Serena turned her head slowly, her violet eyes meeting his. "Morning, Daniel. Did you sleep well?" He frowned. "Not really, Sleeping with a princess who claims your bed as a throne is not exactly restful." Serena tilted her head as if considering this. Then she said softly, "I apologize if my presence disturbs you, but the threat does not sleep." Daniel sighed and rubbed his face. "Threat? You mean your hunters?" "Yes," she replied. "The Krill Dominion. They are not human. They are loyal to those who destroyed my people. They seek only my death, and they will not stop until it is done." Daniel's stomach tightened. He had heard rumors about alien conflicts, but they always seemed distant, abstract. Now the danger was right in his cabin, and he realized he had no choice but to listen. "Tell me," he said, settling onto the chair opposite her. "Why are you running? Who are you, really? And what happened to your people?" Serena took a deep breath, her eyes distant as if staring into another time and place. "I am Serena of House Valari. My people ruled the sector of Veshar for centuries. We were known for our wisdom, our honor, and our strength. The council recognized our rule and many worlds sought alliance with us. But one night betrayal came from the heart of the council itself. My family, my empire, it was destroyed." Daniel leaned forward. "Destroyed how?" "Through fire and deceit," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "A coalition of rival houses turned against us. They struck when we were weakest, using spies and mercenaries. My father was killed in the council chambers. My mother in her private chambers, my guards, all gone." Daniel felt a chill. He imagined a peaceful empire, then flames and chaos consuming it in an instant. "And you survived? How?" "I escaped," Serena said. "By the smallest chance. I was hidden by my closest guard. They all died protecting me, and I was left alone. I have wandered from system to system, never staying long, always pursued." Daniel shook his head in disbelief. "You've been hiding all this time? And you just ended up in my cabin?" Serena's lips curled faintly. "Because you are human. My people spoke of your kind. Untamed, unpredictable, impossible to control. I sought one who could not be manipulated by others. One who could see truth in chaos. And I found you." Daniel blinked. "Me, really?" She nodded. "Yes, you are strong in ways your kind does not always understand. You fight when others would yield. You adapt. You survive. Daniel chuckled nervously. Well, that explains why you picked me, I guess. But seriously, you can't just sit on my bed and expect me to do whatever it is you want. You're an alien princess and I'm a lowly engineer. We come from different worlds, literally and figuratively. Daniel Hale barely slept that night. Every hum of the station, every faint vibration in the walls set his nerves on edge. He kept one hand near the emergency tool belt he always wore while working on the hull, the other hovering near the small comm console. Sirinya, sitting cross-legged on his bed, watched him silently, her violet eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. You are tense, she said softly. Fear is not weakness, Daniel. It is the mind preparing for survival. Daniel exhaled sharply. Survival? Try hiding from a fleet of alien mercenaries while living on a tiny station in the middle of nowhere. That's not preparation. That's a nightmare. Sirinya tilted her head. You underestimate humans. You think you are small, weak, and unprepared. Yet in this very moment you are alive and alert. That is why I sought you. Daniel shook his head. I think I'm just stubborn. A sudden alarm interrupted their quiet exchange. Red lights flashed and the station's intercom blared. Attention! Unauthorized vessel detected in outer orbit. Security teams mobilize immediately. All non-essential personnel remain in quarters. Repeat. Non-essential personnel remain in quarters. Daniel's stomach dropped. They're here. Sirinya rose gracefully, moving to the window to watch the tiny dots of ships orbiting the station. Sleek, angular, and menacing. They glimmered faintly under the distant light of nearby stars. The Krill Dominion had arrived. Daniel's chest tightened. They are close, Sirinya said quietly. Their sensors are strong. If they find me, the station's defense will not matter. You must trust me. I don't know if I can, Daniel shouted. I'm not a soldier. I'm an engineer. I fix things. I don't fight wars. Sirinya's gaze was unwavering. Courage is not measured by rank, Daniel. It is measured by defiance, by the refusal to yield. Humans excel at this. You will see. Daniel swallowed hard, feeling a mix of fear and something else, something like determination. If Sirinya was right, if humans were unpredictable in ways other species could not understand, then perhaps he did have a chance. And right now, chances were all they had. The first cryo boarding shuttle approached the station quietly. Daniel's comm buzzed again, a scrambled voice warning of intruders moving through the maintenance tunnels. He glanced at Sirinya. They will try to enter the residential deck, she said. We must act fast. We cannot allow them to find me here. Daniel felt panic, but it was joined by focus. He quickly grabbed a toolkit and a small portable generator from the corner. What do we do? He asked. Sirinya's eyes glimmered with faint amusement. We mislead them. The human's strength lies in creativity. You will see. For the next several minutes, Daniel worked like never before. He rigged small traps in the hallway outside his cabin, wires across the corridor, flashing lights to confuse sensors, a few devices that emitted noise and heat in random patterns. Sirinya observed quietly, offering small suggestions. Move faster. Place this here. They will detect your heat signature first. Finally, they were ready. The first Krill agents reached the residential block, moving cautiously. Daniel held his breath as the lights he had set began to flash, sending flickering shadows across the corridor. He activated the sound emitters, creating random noises along the hall. The Krill paused. Their sensors detected movement, but they could not locate Sirinya. One of the agents hissed in their harsh language, stepping forward cautiously. Daniel pressed a small button, and a sudden spark from the floor panel startled the alien, sending it tumbling back with a screech. Sirinya's lips curved faintly. See? You're clever. Daniel couldn't help a small grin despite his fear. Lucky, maybe, but the danger was far from over. The Krill were skilled hunters, and one fallen agent meant nothing. More shuttles approached, their landing beacons casting shadows across the station. Daniel realized they had only a few minutes before the full team would arrive. Listen carefully, Sirinya said. You must move me to the maintenance tunnels. They are long and winding. They cannot track heat signatures well there. You will lead. I will follow. If anyone questions you, remember, humans do not lie. But we do misdirect, Daniel nodded. His mind raced, recalling every service hatch, every emergency exit, every crawl space he had inspected during routine maintenance. He had never imagined any of it would be used in a real-life escape from alien mercenaries. As they moved quietly through the corridors, Daniel could hear the Krill outside, their voices harsh, their footsteps heavy. Serena's presence beside him was calming in a strange way. She did not panic. She did not waver. She simply moved with him, silent and poised, like a queen walking beside her knight. They reached a maintenance access hatch that led to a narrow service corridor. Daniel opened it silently and they slipped inside. The tunnel was dark, the hum of station systems their only companion. Daniel led the way, guiding Serena through twists and turns, each step taking them further from the krill patrols above. After several tense minutes, they paused in a hidden alcove, catching their breath. Daniel leaned against the wall, wiping sweat from his forehead. "We did it," he whispered, though the echo of the krill footsteps reminded him it was only temporary. Serena sat on a small ledge, her expression calm. "Yes, Daniel, but this is only the beginning. The krill will not give up. They will continue to search. And their orders are clear, no mercy. You must be ready for more challenges." Daniel shook his head, exhausted but resolute. "I didn't sign up for this, but I can't leave you. Not when they'll kill you if I do." Her eyes softened slightly. "And that is why humans are remarkable. You are willing to risk yourself for someone you barely know. That is courage. That is defiance." Daniel glanced at her, a strange bond forming between them. It was not friendship yet, not trust fully earned, but it was the start of something new. A human standing beside a princess ready to defy impossible odds. Suddenly, the comm crackled again. This time, it was an incoming transmission from the station security chief. "Hale, we know someone is hiding here. Identify yourself immediately." Daniel felt his stomach drop. He pressed a finger to his lips. "Not yet," he whispered. "We misdirect them first." They waited, tense and silent, as the chief tried to locate them. Using small tricks Daniel had set up, the flashing lights, the sound devices, even subtle heat diversions, they kept their location hidden. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the comm went silent. The krill agents above were searching elsewhere. Daniel exhaled, relief flooding him. Serena looked at him with a faint smile. "Clever humans," she said simply. Daniel shook his head. "I don't feel clever. I feel lucky. And scared. Very, very scared." Serena's hand brushed his lightly. Not in a personal way, but a gesture of respect. "Fear is natural. But remember, fear can sharpen the mind. It can give clarity. Tonight you have survived because you were alert, quick, and clever. These are human strengths I have seen before. You have confirmed them." Daniel swallowed hard. He realized she was right. He had been terrified, but that terror had made him act. It had made him think faster, move faster, survive longer, and somehow it had kept both of them alive. As the hours passed, they continued to navigate the labyrinth of maintenance tunnels. The distant hum of krill shuttles and patrols was always present, a reminder that the danger was not over. Daniel knew that eventually the krill would find new ways to track them. They had only bought time, not safety, but for now he allowed himself a small moment of pride. He had faced a threat no human on the station had seen before, and he had kept an alien princess alive. Serena looked at him again, violet eyes glowing faintly. "You are learning quickly, and you are brave. Perhaps one day humans will understand that courage is not measured by strength alone. You have proven it tonight." Daniel nodded, feeling a strange mix of exhaustion, fear, and purpose. The station might be small, the krill threat enormous, and the galaxy far too large and dangerous. But he knew one thing for certain. He would not abandon her. Not now. Not ever. Somewhere in the darkness of the maintenance tunnels, a bond was forming, between human and princess, between courage and survival, between an ordinary engineer and an extraordinary fugitive. And it was only the beginning. The maintenance tunnels smelled faintly of burnt wires and recycled air. Daniel Hale led Serena cautiously through the dimly lit passages, their footsteps echoing softly. He had begun to memorize the twists and turns of the station, and the familiarity gave him a strange confidence. But he knew the danger was far from over. The krill dominion was still searching, relentless and precise. Serena moved beside him, silent and poised, her eyes alert. For the first time, Daniel noticed how she carried herself, not like someone running in fear, but like someone who had survived the impossible and intended to remain unbroken. "Daniel," she said softly, "I will tell you more about my people. You need to understand why I fight and why I cannot surrender." Daniel nodded. "I'm listening, but make it quick." I think I hear someone moving above. Serenya's eyes glimmered faintly. The Valari Empire was built on wisdom, strategy, and honor. Our throne was not merely a seat. It was a living artifact, a crown that bound itself to the ruler, giving guidance and insight through centuries of knowledge. My father wore it, my mother studied it, and it shaped the fate of our people. Daniel paused in the dark corridor. A throne that talks to you? He asked, struggling to imagine it. She tilted her head. Irius, not talks in your way. A guide. The maintenance tunnels twisted endlessly, their dim lights casting long shadows along the walls. Daniel Hale led Serenia with cautious precision, each step measured, each turn deliberate. The distant hum of the station was punctuated by the occasional echo of a krill patrol overhead. Every sound reminded them that the hunters were relentless, patient, and dangerous. This way, Daniel whispered, guiding her toward a service hatch he had discovered months earlier. It leads to the lower decks. Fewer people, fewer sensors. If we can reach the storage and cargo bay, we can hide there until they leave. Serenia followed silently, her presence calm and commanding. She had watched Daniel closely, noting how he moved, how he thought, how he adapted. She had chosen him not because of strength or skill alone, but because humans were unpredictable in ways no alien species could fully understand. And in moments like this, that unpredictability was their greatest weapon. As they reached the hatch, a sudden metallic clatter echoed above. Daniel froze, pressing himself and Serenia against the wall. The krill patrol had spotted something, or perhaps they had simply grown suspicious. They're coming, Daniel whispered. Serenia's eyes narrowed. We will not flee blindly. You have taught me that human defiance is a weapon. We will use it, Daniel nodded. His mind raced. He had spent years repairing and navigating this station, but now every hallway, every hatch, every service duct became a potential tool, a trap, a means of survival. He opened the hatch quietly and they slipped through. The lower deck smelled of oil, machinery, and recycled air. Daniel moved quickly, leading Serenia past storage containers and maintenance robots. They could hear the distant footsteps and low growls of the krill patrol above. Suddenly, Daniel stopped. A service door loomed ahead, leading to the cargo bay. He glanced at Serenia. This is it. If we can reach the bay, we can regroup, maybe even make a stand. We'll have cover, supplies, and tools. Serenia tilted her head, impressed. Good. Humans use space and environment well. I approve. They moved into the cargo bay, carefully closing the door behind them. The vast room was filled with stacked containers, crates, and equipment. Shadows perfect for hiding or ambushing. Daniel quickly secured the main access point with a temporary lock and prepared several makeshift traps, hanging cables, loose panels, and mechanical noise emitters. Serenia watched him work. You think quickly. Humans are clever. Perhaps your kind deserves its reputation. Daniel chuckled softly. I just don't want to die. But thanks, the comm unit buzzed suddenly. Daniel froze and tapped it. The voice of the station security chief came through, tense and hurried. Hail! We know someone is hiding on the lower decks. Identify yourself immediately or we'll send security teams in. Daniel's heart pounded. He glanced at Serenia. They're coming. And not just the krill. They want to hand you over too. Serenia's expression remained calm. Then we show them why humans are remarkable. We do not hide. We do not yield. We stand. Daniel's eyes widened. Stand against them? There's too many of them. We can't. Humans, Serenia interrupted, her violet eyes intense, do not yield easily. That is why I chose you. That is why I sit here in defiance. If you act now, you can show courage. You can show strategy. You can show what your species is capable of. Daniel took a deep breath. He had never led anyone in combat. He had never fought anyone except malfunctioning machinery. But something about her words, her confidence, and the trust she placed in him sparked a determination he did not know he possessed. All right, he whispered. Let's do it. They waited silently as footsteps approached. The first Creel agent entered the cargo bay, scanning with sharp mechanical sensors. Daniel activated a noise emitter on the far side of the room. The agent paused, confused, and moved toward the sound. Now, Daniel hissed. Using the shadows and crates for cover, Daniel and Serenia struck quickly. They disabled two agents silently using small improvised tools, Daniel's human ingenuity at work, Serenia's combat knowledge guiding him. The remaining agents hesitated, their sensors scanning the area. Then, Daniel triggered a loose crate to fall, creating a loud crash. The krill panicked, their formation disrupted. Sirenia moved gracefully, disabling a third agent before they could respond. Daniel was panting, adrenaline surging, but he couldn't help smiling. He had never felt more alive. And through it all, Sirenia's calm presence reminded him that they were a team. One human and one alien, facing impossible odds together. Suddenly, the comm unit buzzed again, this time with a clear human voice. Officer Brooks, Daniel's friend, spoke urgently. "Hail! Everyone is here. The station crew is ready to follow your lead. If you can hold them in the cargo bay, we can reinforce." Daniel's eyes widened. "You're serious? Everyone?" "Yes," Brooks said firmly. "We're done hiding. If the krill want her, they'll have to fight all of us." Daniel turned to Sirenia. She studied him for a moment, then nodded approvingly. "You are human. This is why I sought you. You inspire others. Your courage spreads." With renewed determination, Daniel activated additional traps and guided Sirenia to a better vantage point. Crew members emerged from hidden exits armed with tools and improvised weapons, ready to defend the princess. The krill agents, now descending in numbers, were met with human ingenuity, courage, and unexpected resistance. Daniel realized the truth of what Sirenia had said. Humans did not break easily. Even ordinary people with little combat training could become formidable when protecting what they believed in. And tonight they believed in her, the alien princess who claimed his bed as her throne. The krill faltered under the combined human defense. Makeshift barricades, improvised traps, and relentless courage slowed them, buying precious time. Daniel moved through the chaos, coordinating and adapting, his human creativity proving to be a match for alien precision. Sirenia watched silently, violet eyes scanning, ready to act when needed. She had survived empires falling and hunters pursuing her, but she had never witnessed humans united like this. They were unpredictable, fierce, and fearless, and she realized that humanity was exactly what the galaxy had underestimated. Hours passed, but the krill's momentum faltered. The human stand was not perfect, but it was effective. Slowly, the hunters were forced to retreat, unable to predict the clever traps and human ingenuity at every turn. When the last krill agent disappeared from view, the cargo bay fell silent except for the hum of machinery and the heavy breathing of the defenders. Daniel leaned against a crate, exhausted but alive. Sirenia approached him, her gaze steady and approving. "Humans," she said softly. "You are remarkable. You do not yield, even against overwhelming odds. You protect, you adapt, and you survive. I am proud to stand among you." Daniel shook his head, still catching his breath. We just wanted to survive." Sirenia smiled faintly. "Survival is a form of courage, and courage is the foundation of greatness. Tonight you have shown both. You have shown what humans are capable of." Daniel realized something profound. He had begun this journey as a simple engineer, unaware of the danger and intrigue around him. But now, standing beside a princess and leading fellow humans against a galactic threat, he understood the power of human determination, courage, and unity. And Sirenia, she was no longer just a fugitive. She was a queen in exile, standing in defiance of impossible odds, her throne not made of gold but of courage, strategy, and human support. As the crew regrouped, Daniel glanced at her, feeling a strange mixture of awe, respect, and something like inspiration. They had survived the first wave, but the galaxy was vast, dangerous, and far from predictable. Yet he knew this. With humans at her side, Sirenia's throne, even in exile, was stronger than any enemy could imagine. For the first time, Daniel felt the true meaning of her words. Wherever she sat in defiance, that was her throne. And now it was also theirs, humanity and alien princess together, ready to face whatever came next. The station was quiet now, but Daniel Hale knew it was only a temporary calm. The krill dominion had retreated, but they would return. That was the nature of hunters. They were patient, relentless, and cunning. Yet tonight, humans and Sirenia had survived together. They had proven something fundamental. Courage, unity, and ingenuity could defy the odds. Daniel stood in the cargo bay, looking at the scattered crates and the crew of humans he had led. Their faces were tired, smeared with grease and sweat, but their eyes held fire. They had fought for survival, for the alien princess who had claimed his bed as her throne. And they had succeeded. Serena approached quietly, her violet eyes surveying the room. You have done well, Daniel. Not just you, but all of your kind here. You have proven the strength of humanity. Daniel shook his head. We just did what we had to. I didn't know we could. Humans do not yield, Serena interrupted softly, yet firmly. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, you adapt. You survive. You inspire. Tonight you have done more than survive. You have turned the tide. Daniel looked at her, a mixture of exhaustion and awe washing over him. So what now? The krill will be back and we can't keep hiding forever. Serena's expression was thoughtful. We do not hide. We prepare. We reclaim. The Valari Empire may be gone in part, but its spirit endures. And now, with humans by my side, I can plan for its restoration. Daniel blinked. Restoration, you mean fighting them again? Not just fighting.